Democrats are pressuring President Biden to respond sharply to the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The president is in Germany this morning, taking part in the G7 summit. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is traveling with the president. He joins us now from Austria. Ed, always good to chat with you. So tell us, what are progressives asking for from the president, and do you suspect that the administration is going to be able to act on any of those requests?
Yeah, well, Lana, good to see you. It's funny how every time the president seems to go overseas, domestic matters just keep gnawing at him while he's away. And in this case, he's facing plenty of pressure from Democrats to do more, to somehow respond more forcefully to this. Among other things, there are calls to pass legislation that would legalize abortion rights nationally. The House tried to do that last year. They passed it. The Senate, given its makeup, cannot do so. Democrats in the Senate now trying to talk to the two abortion rights supporting Republicans, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, about possibly getting the numbers there to at least get them over the 50% or the 50 vote threshold. But even then, there are the procedural hurdles. And so Democrats are campaigning on the idea that that can be something that should be codified into law. Our new CBS News poll finds that there's actually majority support for doing so. An encouraging sign for Democrats, given that they, of course, need to motivate people to turn out to the polls and are trying to give people affirmative reasons why they should be supporting their party this November.
Well, new CBS polling finds that 50% of registered Democrats say that the court's decision makes them more likely to vote this fall. But questions have been also raised over the lack of action by Democrats to codify Roe v. Wade over the last few decades. Could a federal law to legalize abortion rights nationwide actually be brought to the table before the midterm elections? And is there any confidence that Democrats could actually use this issue to keep control?
They definitely could, as we mentioned. They definitely will be campaigning on this. They already are. And again, the prospects for getting this done before November, given everything else that has to happen, are unlikely unless for some reason the votes were suddenly there in the Senate, which they don't appear to be.
Right.
So, you know, we will see Democrats continue to talk about the procedural steps that could be taken, court packing, ending the filibuster. The president doesn't support expanding the size of the court. Not a huge fan of doing away with the filibuster unless there's a real profound reason why Republicans continue to sort of stand in the way of things. And so there will be disagreements in the party about how to proceed, and he will continue to face some pressure. But that sentiment of why didn't you do it already, I think is going to be a harder one for Democrats to explain, because you could throw immigration reform into that. You could have thrown, more meaningful or more broader gun control potentially into that mix as well. And Democrats could turn to their supporters and say, which one of those would you like us to start with, given the protracted nature of Congress these days?
Yeah. So, Ed, you also have some big news coming there out of G7. Administration officials say that the White House is planning to announce the purchase of an advanced surface-to-air missile defense system for Ukraine. We know that this has been controversial in the past. Ukraine has been clamoring for it. So what more can you tell us?
We know that this is likely to be announced this week, along with some other military assistance from the United States, including artillery ammunition and counter-battery radars to address requests from the Ukrainian military. Here at the summit, President Biden and his fellow world leaders heard virtually from President Zelensky earlier today, repeating the pledge or the plea that he's made for months since the conflict began, asking for more military and financial assistance from these countries. They are taking other broader economic steps as well. Tomorrow, we're anticipating they're going to formally announce a ban on Russian imported gold. As another example of trying to isolate Moscow's economy. This comes as there are reports that Russia is on the verge of defaulting on its international loans. There will be some other announcements regarding potential price controls on Russian oil, because despite all the embargoes around the world or the sanctions that have been put on Russian goods and services, it continues to profit from Russian oil that is still on the market, selling, of course, at a hefty price. If these other countries could step in and try to put in some price controls, the hope is that, too, could severely damage the Russian economy. But all of this comes, of course, amid the violence in Ukraine over the weekend, which many point to this meeting being the reason why the Russian forces attacked Kyiv once again and are making pretty aggressive moves across the rest of that country.
Lots to dig in there. Ed O'Keefe, looking like you're stepping out of The Sound of Music to talk to us this morning. Thanks so much.
Take care.